All right, guys, welcome to Commission Reviews. This is new for me. Now, I have heard of Love is Blind when it first initially came out, and I wasn't interested. Netflix has got me recently with their reality TV. Yeah, I know I've covered The Circle. I've covered a little bit of Too Hot to Handle. So when I heard that this Love is Blind After the Altar that actually premiered on their Netflix, like it's 3 or 4 in the morning, I was watching it like at 6. But first, I took 2 days and I binged the very first season. I was like, what is this about? What is the... Oh my God, I can't believe I don't have the pods up here. Hold on, I gotta get the pods. Okay, so the premise of the entire situation is you're literally in a little room by yourself and you're talking to person that you are, let's say for me, I'm talking to guys, okay? And obviously I don't know who the guys are, but I just hear their voice and I just get to know who they are. And we talk for a few days, and that is what they considered to be dates. I didn't get that at first. So, and the women and the men are literally, they're all separated. Like what I mean, like whatever. They had their own little room to get back the drinks. Like, oh man, I talked to such and such. And when I first started watching, I was like, I'm not going to get into this. So I watched the very first episode. And I noticed that it was a diverse cast of the women. The men, not so much. But a lot of things have changed in the past 2 years as far as... And it's a shame to say it like we're in 1965, but hey, I'm just saying. In the past couple of years, a lot of things have changed as far as diversity and inclusion and things of that nature. So, I don't know. I'm not gonna give anybody a pass or excuse or anything like that. I'm just saying some things have changed. Maybe, this time they weren't there. Production things usually are taped and recorded a year before, 6 months before. So this may have been pre-tape, pre-pandemic. I don't know. Uh-oh, just messed this up. So anyway, I thought I wasn't going to be that interested in it because I watch reality TV, obviously, and I watch a lot of it because of what I do. Yeah, of course. But at the same time, I also like to take joy watching a reality TV show. If I get into something where it's like, okay, I'm going to binge it, that means I'm hooked. Something has intrigued my interest or whatever, and I really want to see what's popping, what's going on this season. And especially my favorite part, of course, is always the reunion. Just so you guys know. It's probably everybody's. But anyway. So I watched the first episode and noticed how they were meeting each other. I really don't think I knew the premise of the show. I really feel like I didn't know. So the premise, like I said, when they were meeting each other in these pods, like I said, it's pretty much them going on a date with somebody. Is this the right picture? Yeah, it is. It's pretty much them going on a date. These are the pods. Okay? And they're in the pods and they're talking to each other. It's a wall right there. They're not actually communicating. They're actually communicating with a person that they may or may not fall in love with. Because see, supposedly at the end of all this, they're supposed to marry this person. So let's cut through. I'm not going to go through the entire season and everything. I'm just not going to do that. But I'm going to say that I didn't realize myself watching that when they get to the very end and they decide, because see, the male will come to him and say, hey, I want to marry you. She says yes. Boom, that's a couple. Then the next step is going to a honeymoon. They have spent time together. Next thing is moving in together. And then it's meeting the parents, friends, whatever. Then it's the wedding. So at the wedding, some said yes. Others said no. So can you imagine what can happen with the ones who said yes? What life they have after that? What they lead? And then what happens to the ones who did say no? Did they date other people? Did they date each other and continue on their journey, just not married? So, which brings me to Love is Blind After the Altar. Let me make this a little bit smaller because it's covering up. There we go. There we go. After the Altar. So let's get into this. Okay, because After the Altar brings up stuff from the part one, so we can kind of incorporate it in there. All right, I'm just saying. Yeah, I had to take notes because it was so much I was watching. You have to mind you now, it's been 2 years, and they do the After Altar with the couples and the singles, and they all come together, right? Of course, my favorite couple, along with everyone else, is Cameron and Lauren. Now, this is their anniversary party, Lauren and Cameron, along with Amber and Matt, and they call it their squad the Pod Squad, obviously because of the pods. And so it's their situation. But let me go ahead and say some things. Now, for one, Cameron and Lauren, they're an interracial couple, and you have to love it when you watch them in the pods and as they speak to each other. I can remember when Cameron started crying, they hadn't even seen each other yet. He was already falling in love with her, and that is, you're falling in love with me on the inside, not the outside, because you haven't even seen that part. The fact that you can fall in love with me emotionally, then you fall in love with me physically, that's the love. That's the love of all ages right there. Okay. Amber and Matt. Matt had a few people that liked him. Jessica, LC, and Matt was kind of going between the three of them. He ended up choosing Amber. Well, when he did that, he had to shut Jessica down. Okay. And Jessica was going with Mark, which Mark was so enamored by her, she ended up shut him down, but ended up going back because he shut her down. You know what I'm saying? Come on, y'all, follow me. If you watch the show, you have to understand. If you're here watching the Altar, then you've already watched the series and you know where we are. So anyway, let me get to some tea a little bit here. So anyway, Amber and Matt are married, but the situation was this. Amber's a tough woman. She was beating people in the face. I was like, she's speaking me. Okay. Punch people in the face like, look, girl, I ain't got time. Because the thing about it was, even though they get engaged, like I told you, got to get engaged and all these things, and they all kind of got together at the Hawaiian or whatever resort they was at, she was still trying to get at Matt. Jessica was. She was disrespectful to her, like to their relationship. Like, are you sure you want this? This was in season 1. So I could understand when Amber was like, I'm not trying to see her. Matt was kind of like whatever my wife wants, but pretty much same. Cameron and Lauren came with the true love, baby, interracial relationship. They had to go through some things that, like Lauren's dad was probably kind of like, have you been around in my black before? Black family. Of course, he mentioned that he had dated someone black before, and it seems like the families are coming together, and they seem very much like family when they got together. You see them after the altar. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, period. I mean, it's like magic almost. Cinderella, whatever. Love it. A black Cinderella. I feel like a sneeze is coming on. I'm trying to prevent it. Now, if you guys remember Mark was best friends with Amber. Okay, and they spoke mostly about his relationship with Jessica, and of course how it intertwined with Amber and Matt's relationship as well. But Matt was upset and devastated when they got to the altar, and Jessica said no. So was his family. But it seems like Matt was a bit busy after. First of all, I think him and LC deemed each other and they started dating. Then now, from what is going on, he didn't even show up because he got a baby. Okay, a baby and a new woman. So there were some tensions throughout the night. For one thing, was Diamond and Lauren had a little issue, and we'll get into that. But let's talk about this because we're on it. Amber is Mark's best friend, and Diamond is close with LC. So when they're all sitting together, because Amber's trying to, defend Mark because, some things. Okay. He messed over her or whatever because he messed with somebody else. Even Jessica made a point of saying that he was doing some kind of shifty stuff. And so Amber was like, blah, 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 blah. LC was like, look, I want it to be exclusive. We're in the middle of a pandemic. So I don't want to get COVID. So I don't want my dude traveling, being with people. I want him to just be with me. And he said that's what it was, but it wasn't like that. She said she ended up getting COVID. I was like, wow. Then Amber just was like, okay, the girl got COVID too. We're out there risking each other. Her and Diamond went back and forth. She was like, look, they're risking each other. Diamond was like, you're not listening to what she's saying. Amber was like, let me finish. And she was like, at one point in time, then you need to finish. Okay? Even when Elsie tried to jump in and say something, she was like, no. Let her finish. Let her beep, 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 finish. I was like, look, I would have checked the two. Seriously. Say what you got to say, because when I got to say something, I'm about to tell it all. So go ahead. Speak. The whole thing was, I understand they're both defending their friendships. But she's not listening. Mark is looking like a whole what out here in these streets. And you could defend your friend. But at the same time, I need that picture. I wonder if I can get that picture. Hold on. Let me see if I got that picture. The one that of the people that I'm talking about right now. I just can't really help it. I was like, is that a picture right there? Let me see. Did I get it? It said it's saved. Let me see. All files. Is this one? Yep. I was looking at the wrong files. So, this is the Diamond and Amber. Diamond did not find love herself. She brought a date. She connected when she got there with Ebony, who has her own place. It was nice, and Ebony had a handsome man there, and I think his name was Romeo, and everything seemed good. And then I don't know, maybe she didn't talk to him enough in his book, but then all of a sudden she went looking for him and he was gone, child. Well, no, not looking for him. She actually was like, hey, do you want to take a picture? And he was like, well, I was just about to find you and let you know I'm about to go to the house. She was like, what? So, watching the show, And of course, I know production, how they show things that we don't see the entire thing. He could easily say that she wasn't giving me much attention the whole night. I mean, it's very obvious she hasn't seen these people in a long time. Some of them probably, 2 years. So yeah, she's gonna spend some time talking and interacting with people and stuff like that. Now, if that's where his problem is, then I mean, I don't know. This is just my opinion about that. That I'm thinking that might be the reason why. And she got really upset about it. And I was like, I felt bad because you didn't understand. They all come there and see everybody with their spouses and boyfriends. And they're feeling like. Okay, now I call her G. I don't know if it's Gianna. I don't want to pronounce her name wrong. And Damian, they have a situation. Child, their relationship to me from the beginning was like hot, spicy. I feel like they would have that passionate love. I just thought they would. Even when he was like, I don't want to rush into being intimate with you. I want to take my time. I thought it was going to be something. I don't know. So she said yes and he said no at the altar. You have to understand that at the very point of at the altar is when they make their decision. They make them go through the process, and then that's when they make the decision. So anyway, he's talking about her like he loves her. She was too before, and she said I hadn't talked to him in a week or something like that. So he brings his friend Francesca, who's from Too Hot to Handle, and then been allegedly in the paper about it, like saying that they're dating, and he's saying that they're not. She's also saying the same, but she also said he didn't divulge that they were still together. So much. So when she said he's mine, and she said try to comfort him, you got the mixed with the wrong BIT. I was like, ooh, 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 ooh. It's the Latina. She said, look, I'm not playing with you, mama. I'm not. I was like, oh my God. Let me tell you. So at the end, they get in a big argument. It wasn't good. Like, they were the ones that they thought would end up being together, because it's been 2 years. You still fighting over whatever. It's no rush. And I think that, obviously because they are on this show, they probably think it's some kind of rush to, But I also want to talk about the two marriages that did stay together. And I did skip over the reunion, because the reunion was crazy. But when you listen to Cameron speak about his wife, it's everything. It really is. Because I feel like he loved her from like the second time he spoke to her in the pod. Like, he cried. And they were just having, and like I said, they considered the pods to be dates. So, and the black women that, like Brianna, Ebony, Diamond, there was a few ladies I felt like that we did not get to see, which is unfortunate. I don't know if it's because the only people that were going to be as far as featured, or I don't know. I really don't know how that works out, but there, like I said, there were a few couples that we didn't see. Where is this freaking picture? Should have been. Oh, here it is. Okay, I was trying to get this picture up here. So look at how pretty this is their anniversary party, and at this time, you see Cameron sitting there. So at this time, it was actually no, they're all yeah. At this time, this is Amber's. Now, when the guys got up to speak about him, I really loved Amber's because he was so freaking pretty. Because he got up there and he showed the video of every time he kissed her in the morning before he went to work. You know, you have sleep, but it was Matt recording it. And I also liked to see Amber talking to her mother-in-law, talking about, when she wants to have kids. She kind of was like talking about old school as far as women don't really get what they want in a marriage. I was like, ooh, she kind of was breaking down like that. But just, I noticed a lot of women on here are pretty angry. Carlton and Diamond, let me speak about that real quick before I get into what I thought was weird, that Carlton was kind of upset with I didn't understand why he was upset with okay. Carlton is fluid, and when he got married to, or engaged to Diamond, he did not let her know that. Okay, he did not. Let's be honest. And whether he looks at it that way or not, it is a problem. Is this somebody else's? Hold on, let me get this picture off of here. Okay. The problem is with that is that he's sexually fluid, and he did not tell her that. He waited until, I think, a day after they got married. Okay. Or not married, I'm sorry, got engaged. And then what he did was, when he told her that, he sat her down and he said, hey, in the past, I have been with other men. And she just looked at him, because he told her, he said, I don't feel like that I'm being completely honest with you. I'm trying to find a picture of the two of them. Hold on. Even though if y'all watched this show, y'all should know to see I'm talking about. So anyway, it went to, I felt like she was being open. I felt like that he was being open when she was attempting to talk. She didn't, even though he was getting upset and everything else, she didn't really know what to say. I really don't think she knew what to say to that. Okay, so she was just listening, I felt like. And so he explained to her, I used to be, or I would sometimes be with men or whatever, but I think he was trying to explain himself that I'm fluid. But then at the end of it, she was like, give me some time or whatever. And he was like upset. He got very, very upset, cussing, that kind of thing. And I was like, okay, well, let's cooler heads prevail. So then she goes to bed. He goes to bed, separate rooms and all this. And she gets up and she's like, I needed some time to think about some things. That was a lot for me to hear after I thought, not that we was, I guess you could say, thought that we was good. Not expecting anything like this to happen. I guess you could say it like that. Let me put this picture right here. Okay. So then she decides to go meet him by the pool and have a conversation. This is all in part one. It's leading to what I'm going to say about him getting into it with Lauren, which I thought was weird. Oh, I didn't see this picture. Man, they got the screenshots and everything, baby. Hold on. So she sits down and she says, I had some time to think about some things. And she said, first of all, I feel like I told you everything. I feel like I told you about my past. I told you about what I wanted, whatever. I do not feel like that you granted me the same thing. It started with her saying that. And as soon as he heard that, he went off. And I was saying to myself, I don't understand. I don't understand how you are getting upset with her for saying, I do not feel like that you were honest with me as I was with you, because I feel like I understand what she is saying. Okay. Then he gets loud. That's why I don't deal with itches like you. Oh, she was like, oh, I'm an itch now? She threw some water, got up, and then he said a little comment. She said, F you, watch me when I walk away or something. And then he says, no, you F like me. I was like, I don't even understand. I'm like, I don't even understand, child. Why do you have all of the attitude? Well, we went from calm to now we throwing up hands up in the air and all this, that. Child, it was too much happening, baby. It was too much happening. So then we went from this one. He's meeting at the anniversary. He's sitting down with Lauren and she's trying to talk to him like, I felt bad for Diamond. As soon as she said I felt bad for Diamond, oh, you felt bad for Diamond, but I was defending you in the chest. Lauren, how you ain't gonna defend me? Who gonna defend me? I was like, wait a minute. Why is it this every time? I mean, every time. I'm like, bro, what is happening right now? And I understand his frustration to assume that he's this, he's that, when he's telling you what he is. I get all of that. Child. It was a lot. So I recommend, and poor little Mark wasn't even there. And I feel bad for Mark, and I'm like, why I feel bad for Mark? Mark out here doing the thing. Mark doing dirt. So you guys go and binge this on Netflix. And you come back. Tell me what you think.